Oh no, it's time to do our Dragon Ball Z impressions video, but I don't think I'm strong enough yet. I need to work on my training. Sam will arrive in approximately 10 years. That's enough time for me to get really strong.
I'm here.
Oh, hey Sam.
Hey!
I'm really strong now. I trained for 10 years. Okay,
So guys,
DBZ.
DBZ Kakarot.
Cataracts.
I'm
blind.
Where do we start?
Alright, so let's be really clear. We are not DBZ fans, okay? If you're looking for a video for like DBZ fans and their perspective and whatever else, then go for it. It's not that we don't like DBZ, it's just that we have never really like gotten into it. Do you know what I mean?
my only relationship with Dragon Ball Z has been like watching the Frieza saga when I was like 12 and like maybe playing a few bits and pieces, I don't know, throughout the years, but not really. You know, I'm not
like
a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan. But I enjoy it and I've walked into this with an open mind being like, cool, this might be a really cool experience. Let's jump on here.
So I feel like from the top, I can say, I don't know who this game's for, okay?
I definitely know who this game's for.
Well, okay.
This is definitely for the hardcore lover of the cartoons or just the storytelling that Dragon Ball Z goes after.
Well, you say that. However, it is a retelling of the old stories. It's 4 of the sagas. It's Saiyan attacks. It's Frieza, it's Android, and it's Boo. And like people have already heard these stories 1,000 times, right?
Yep.
And it's just telling them again.
This is the thing. If a Return of the Jedi game came out and it was done in a really great way of telling that story again, I'd jump on that.
But if there were like
that.
10, okay, cool, I agree with that. But if there were 10 games before that also told the story, would you be up for that? Playing it for the 11th time?
I don't know if 10 games...
There are definitely, not 10, but there have been a few Dragon Ball Z games that have come up before that have told these stories before. It's not the first time this is being done. So, I, as I said, I'm not a fan, but definitely reading a lot of fan reaction. People are like, I've already done this. This is bringing nothing new to the table. Why does this exist? So, I can say, I have actually had a good time with this. I have liked this because I'm not a DBZ fan. All of this is new to me. I'm meeting these characters for the first time. I'm hearing these stories for the first time. I have liked this video game. However, I don't think it's a good video game. I like it because it's like an interactive anime. And I look at it and I think, well, if it's not a good video game, and if it's telling the same stories that the fans have already heard, then who is this for? Because I don't think someone who's not a fan of DBZ is going to give this a go and take $60 punt on this and think, yeah, let's give this a crack. Do you know what I mean?
Look, you might be right. I feel
I'm always right.
When I was playing this game, I was like, this is for the hardcore DBZ fan. This is for the person that may have listened and seen this story many times, that wants to see it in a way that it's presented in the game. This game for me, if we were to say it in one word, is it's very accessible. You might be a new person, you might have been a hardcore fan. You can jump in, you can enjoy the story, you can see it again, you can fly around, and the actual fighting mechanics feel very accessible. The whole thing feels very easy to digest. It really does. But let's just start with the story. Did you want to start there?
Sure. I mean, I mean, look, I think this is where the game is at its strongest, depending on your appetite for this kind of thing. If you want to hear it again, then cool. I think it's great. I love the voice acting. It's the original voice actors.
Yep.
I love the way that it's sort of briskly moving through the different sagas, like it's focusing on the most important bits. You know, I love the action. I love all of it. I really have enjoyed it a lot. When the cutscenes are rolling, I'm like, this is really cool. And I also appreciate as well, there's a lot of downtime in this game, because it's not all just like fighting. There's little side quests that you do where you meet other characters and go through other things, and I like that because it fleshes out the story for me. I get the old, like, I see snippets of the old anime and what they look like, etc.
The photos you pick up and whatever.
I appreciate that, and as, again, reading around, I think perhaps the biggest appeal of this game for hardcore fans is the idea that it does allow itself to breathe a bit. It does allow you to immerse yourself in this world and hang out with these characters and just have little stories with them. I like that a lot, and I can see how that would appeal to DBZ fans.
I think that because I have a rough understanding of Dragon Ball Z, but there's a lot of blanks that I need to fill, it has been enjoyable to see a lot of cutscenes and see those stories with a lot of pace progress, and I like that. You know, like there's been some characters that have been there, then they're not there half an hour later, and like, you know, I feel like within 5 hours you're already kind of seeing a lot of stuff happening, and it's very engaging, and I like the idea of like, it doesn't sit there like the Dragon Ball Z episodes and make you wait 8 episodes for a single punch to move.
Yeah.
It's completely the opposite. It's almost like they're trying to cram everything they can very quickly in so they can get you, to maybe some new exciting things later on.
Totally. So look, when the cutscenes aren't rolling, two things are happening. You're either fighting or you're out in the open world flying around. So let's talk about the fighting first. It's very simple combat, okay?
I thought it was going to be very overwhelming when they first just showed you the controls. Splash a control. I'm like, whoa, you jump in. It's extremely easy to actually figure out. And again, this goes into it's extremely digestible. You can jump in after 3 minutes, I reckon, of just playing the game in a battle. You're like, okay, cool, I got this.
Yeah, so it's one button melee combos, so there's only one melee attack. You're just spamming the B button as much as you can. You can upgrade the melee attack so that you do longer combos, but it's still just spamming the B button. There's your X button that does your ranged attacks with your key. There's you hold down the left trigger and then press another button to do one of your super moves. There's a big focus on blocking. Basically, the essential rhythm of combat is this. Punch an enemy, wait until they're invulnerable because they go through these windows where you can't do anything to them. Oh no, you can hit them, but they have too much super armor and they're about to hit you. So you just block during that time, you wait until they do an attack, and then you can resume punching. That's combat, man. I'm really not exaggerating when I say that. Yeah. There are actually, I would say, some boss mechanics.
Oh, cool.
Later on, as you unlock more boss, as you get to bigger fights, they do have some mechanics. However, these are really annoying because they sort of switch your camera perspective really quickly, and it's really unclear what you should be doing, and the movement becomes inconsistent. Those boss mechanics, you kind of die to them because you're figuring out, what do you want me to do here? And then you do it, and then that's it.
The up and down in those camera angles completely change.
It's terrible.
You then your character is completely controlled in a different way in those moments where we might be talking about the same character. There's a huge beam.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That one, right?
Super annoying.
Yeah. So look, I will say though, I think that it's a big task on their hands to make fighting in a completely 3D flying realm feel quite easy to do,
Yeah, absolutely.
It is very easy to jump in, and there's there's an auto lock. You punch and it just flies you all the way to them. Yeah. A lot of it's done for you, and I think that maybe some people wanted a bit more of a complex battle system in terms of maybe your own maneuvering, but I actually don't think people would want that because it's a pain in the butt to make a 3D fighting thing where everyone's flying around. That becomes way too hard to really make that work. It needs to be on rails a little bit, I think.
It is, sure, I agree. It's about the spectacle. This game protects the spectacle rather than going for good gameplay. I've played 20 hours of this now. That's exactly right. I've played 20 hours of this now, and I'm, definitely really bored of combat. I've done it. I've got it. It's cool. It looks flashy, but I'm playing for the cutscenes and the story beats way more than I'm playing for the next big battle because I find the combat really dull at this point.
I find that some of these battles, some of them are 3 parts, right? And you beat the first 2, and then you're like, oh, I'm under level for the last one, and it's really frustrating to not have a return to world. You have to load a game.
Yeah, so annoying.
Annoying.
The difficulty curve in this game is completely whack. Some fights you will dumpster your opponent, and the very next fight, they're 3 levels higher than you, and they just are so much health, such as fucking bullet sponges.
Yeah.
And then you go into the open world, and you bump into enemies that are 10 levels lower than you, and you just completely Shrek them.
And then you're not getting the experience in there. I remember when I was
annoying
versing the first. Oh, we won't give who we're versing away, I guess.
Yeah, because 30-year spoilers.
Okay, fine. We're versing Raditz. I had to go and just try and kill 30 monsters to try and get to the next level because I was only getting 20 experience and I needed 500.
The grinding sucks.
It's annoying, and it's very one-dimensional, that grind. In terms of you just fly around, you see something cool, you jump in, you do it, and that's it. And also the quests themselves. The fetch stuff, get apples, or go get a deer or something. I don't know. Some of the stuff for me, I was like, I don't know. I really want more with the amount of maneuverability you're giving me. Give me something else to do with this.
Obviously, we're talking about the open world RPG exploration components here. As I said, 3 parts of the game. 1, story, cutscenes, whatever. Cool. Fighting, flashy but repetitive, and then 3. Open world RPG. There are different open world hubs that you can visit, there are different planets you can go to, etc. But these are big, just empty spaces where you fly around collecting orbs. It kind of feels like Sonic or Banjo-Kazooie or something where you have to go around collecting coins. It's the same thing here. There are, there are resource nodes that you can shoot to collect some diamonds that you might need if you want to build something or whatever. There's fishing and catching of deer, so you can make food, which gives you stat buffs.
And that's it. That's really an interesting thing, because like, I like the idea that you get some status effects and you also get some long-term benefits from the food. It gives people, I think, an incentive to maybe explore that world.
But a boring incentive.
That's why I was going with that. Like, I get what they're doing there. They want to give you something that makes you go out and maybe want to find a special type of food or whatever. But, it's just, for me, I was not looking to really, grow with the food. I was like, I'd rather just spam heaps of battles and level up that way, And I like the whole community idea and how it kind of synergizes with certain characters. It's not overly...
The community idea, by the way, is when you meet characters, you get an emblem from them. You put those emblem on various community boards, and those community boards gives you stat buffs. So as you meet characters, you become stronger, is essentially how it works.
And like the thing is, like, I understand that there might be a slight synergy with them, but for me, from what I've seen, it's like you just have to like max out the board, and then the benefits of that board are going to come anyway.
It's very simple.
So I don't really understand if there is a complexity to it, whether you want to place people on certain things. Maybe I just didn't fully understand that, but from what I saw, the ability to max out that particular community was like, just put heaps of people on there and you'll get all these status effects.
Yeah, you got to level up the people as well with gifts.
Okay, sure.
So look, I think that when the game is being an open world RPG, it really blows. It's just easily the weakest part of the game. It does allow you to bump into people and do side quests, which then pushes us into the story category of the game, where you start seeing these interactions, and that's cool. And there's a little bit of fighting around the open world, but it's super easy and whatever. So it's kind of the same block as fighting is average.
Yeah.
Look, ultimately, I think that I don't recommend this game except for some very specific people. If you're, as I said, it's not a good video game, but it's a cool interactive anime. And if you're up for immersing yourself in the DBZ world, hanging out with characters, hearing their stories, watching the same stories unfold again, then you're going to like this. If you're new to DBZ and you want to learn the sagas, this is a great starting point.
Sure.
And I've really liked it for that reason.
Yep.
But if you are a DBZ fan who's looking for something fresh, different, innovative, like the ultimate DBZ game, this is definitely not it.
I understand what you're saying. I actually, when I was playing this game, I did feel like it was to a broader audience. It was to the anime fans, to the manga fans. It was to the people that love Dragon Ball Z, that are happy to jump on again and experience it in the story again. Fine, they've already seen it, but maybe just in a nicer graphics, in a new format where you can play along with that. And it also is for people that haven't played Dragon Ball Z and want to jump on that ride too, as you've said.
Sure.
I do see this to be appealing to a lot of people. Also, as like a soft RPG open world, this also appeals
very
to them.
soft.
And I think in that regard, there is a market there for a lot of people that just kind of want to jump on, not think too much, and just kind of like play through the Dragon Ball Z world. So I think this will sell relatively well, and I believe it'll probably review.
It's getting like 7s and 8s.
Sure, relatively well,
which is fine. Which is exactly what I expect.
Yeah, so it's not game of the year, but I think for a lot of people that have been waiting for a RPG style of Dragon Ball Z, this is exactly what I think people would want.
No, I can't say exactly. Like, I mean, it's like the RPG stuff sucks. Like, it's not good. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot more that could be done with that space, but it's something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like I just think that the way that they've done it, it's extremely accessible, and I think that that's what I would expect from a Dragon Ball Z RPG, personally. That's why I'm thinking that, I guess. But some people, you're right, some people might be like, hang on, I've been a Dragon Ball Z fan for 30 years, I want to really delve into this shit. But then there might be some other people like, I love Dragon Ball Z, I just want to fly around the world and have a light RPG. Who knows? But that is it, guys. We got some Let's Plays also next week for y'all, and some news, and we'll do a Yong meme somewhere in there. We'll throw it in.
Dong out!
Dong out!
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, rock, dragon, cut.